without further ado, I pass it to the doctor. Thank you.
Thank you. Om Swastiastu. Namaste, everyone. Thank you so much for Scott and Usada team for having me. It's an honor for me to share this dissertation. This is topics from my dissertation exam in Udayana University for cultural study. So I have my PhD program for this topic, and I have 5-time exam defense for this dissertation with 9 professors. But I think here is more tense, quite more pressure, because all the experienced yoga teacher, studio owner, you know better than those professor, I guess, in the term of yoga. So why I choose these topics? Actually, the topic is more complete. It's not only commodification of yoga and spirituality in Bali, but the whole topic is commodification and spirituality and commodification in yoga practice in the global capitalism era in Bali. Why I choose this topic is because I am as well personally as a yoga practitioner. I teach yoga as well here in Bali, in Jakarta, in some places in Europe area, Poland. I have a friend from Poland, Italy, and Greece as well to share the experience of myself practicing this yoga and how these powerful tools. Yoga is a tool for us to living this life more easeful, a little bit more easeful. Okay, commodification. So the reason that I choose these topics is because of the recently nowadays, maybe the past decades, there is shifting of the yoga practice and yoga environment. There is a shifting, especially in Bali. I choose the topic specifically in Ubud, Seminyak, and then Pasar, because these 3 part of area is the main of the destination for people who coming to Bali to seeking of the spirituality. There is a moment before everything of this commodification happens. The traditional practice of yoga in Bali is came from the Watu Karu in 6th centuries. That time, the practice of yoga originally, we will talk more about this, how this traditional practice of yoga not really much commercial. And this practice declined from the 14th century through the colonialization. There is some shifting of this practice because of the colonialization. For those of you, maybe you learn about how Krishnamacharya approaching yoga in India to make sure that Indian people, however, is strong with this yoga practice. Because the practice of Ashtanga, I see many of Ashtanga here, is not easy. It takes time, your lifetime, discipline. During that colonialism era, this practice become globalization and also commercialization. There is so many things happens during that time. And in Bali, yoga as a part of the tourism industry. Repackaging this practice with the many of other things that we can combine. So the ideological of the yoga itself become shifting and significantly changing. However, because of this commercialization and also globalization. There's nothing wrong with this. I'm sharing this because of in the perspective of academic purpose. So there is nothing right or wrong, but as it is. So hybridization also part of this shifting of the transformation. Blending of traditional practice and modern practice. This is also the hybrid part of the practice of this yoga. And market driven also, this is the main things that make this yoga practice become shifting a lot. And commodification in yoga, this is the interaction combination between the traditional and then the global. How people coming, the tourists, the practitioner coming to Bali and then acknowledge their own way, and then the Balinese practitioner or teacher also learn to combine this to make the yoga accessible to everyone. And also the commercialization of yoga studio and the retreats. There is so many things of the studio approach to make yoga well known and easy to reach with many platform of application apps, the apps. And then merchandise, yoga apparel. This is also the commercialization part of the industry of yoga that also giving so many things for the transformation of yoga become industry. Certification and training programs. Certification. In traditional time, in the ancient times, there is no kind of the certification or acknowledgement about being a yoga teacher. They just doing the yoga practice, devoting their life with the teacher, and they practice for a whole lifetime, and then yes, you can go and share this knowledge and then become a teacher. There is no standard of 200 hours, 300 hours, 500 hours, and so on. And the yoga retreat itself become a part of the tourism package and industry. So it's not only about yoga, but it's combined with other things. With the hiking, with the surfing, as long as it is part of the tourism industry. And online yoga platform and subscription. Also, this is main things of the how people easy to understand what is yoga and then how they can access about the information of yoga. Which one is the best way to do? Maybe by the YouTube, maybe also the promotion by the Instagram, or now it's TikTok. It's really help the people to understand and to do and how to reach the yoga teacher or the yoga practice itself. Branding and celebrity endorsement. This is also the things that people, content creators, some of them from some of my students, the Gen Z now, they are always having this tripod with camera everywhere in the studio to make a content, and it's good thing. It's a good thing. However, I see it as a positive way. However, it's like making them to keep going with this practice and then keep sharing the benefit of the yoga and so on. And also the yoga festival and events. Yoga festival we have now, and also the pioneer Bali Spirit Festival by Yoga Barn. They are the pioneer of the event that is held with the almost 60 countries coming to Bali to share, not only as the practitioner but also the teacher, sharing their experience and the knowledge. And these things of shifting, transformation, giving some question, what is the form then of the transformation of this yoga practice? How is the form and what is the form of the transformation? And then what is the ideologies behind the transformation of yoga in Bali and the consequences? What is the consequences of this transformation of yoga in Bali? To understand or answering that question, we need some concept and a theory. Spirituality, we know how we approach spirituality beyond the dogma or religion approach. And commodification, the commodity, the product that we sell is not only about the product itself, but also the idea, the rhetoric, and also the ideology of the product itself and the process of the whole marketing. This is the commodification. Yoga practice, the holistic practice of meditation, asana, yoga pose, and so on. And the global capitalism. This is how the transnational capitalists become global, and also the transformation itself. And the theory, this is also the most powerful thing or important part of my dissertation, because I'm the practitioner. So to research your own self as a subject is quite challenging, and it makes some bias. First time when I'm trying to writing this, I kind of more giving more about my own experience instead of the research itself. So I have so many important interview here and there to make sure that this fair enough for the understanding of how in Bali there is a transformation. So I use the power relation theory from Foucault. According to Foucault, power is not only top-down hierarchy. So power is also in the relationship of society. So according to Foucault, in prisoner, as a prisoner in prison, in hospital, in the structure there is a power. In the society there is a power. Social practice theory by Bourdieu also how our daily activities between society it becomes a power and it's become a habitus, a habit. And spirituality post-religious by Nietzsche. Nietzsche himself is not anti-spirituality. He is just anti of dogma of religion. So nowadays, people seeking spirituality, not following any specific dogma of religion, but more about how to reach beyond this transcendent, something beyond us, beyond ourselves, without any specific religion that we need to follow. So this theory of Nietzsche is helping to finding the research. And the form, what is the form of the yoga transformation itself? This dissertation I have form of the transformation, ideologies, process, management, and symbols. This form of transformation. Ideologies, we can see how Balinese rituals and just the heritage this link into specific religious and very much sacred practice. And this is integral with the Hinduism that we have here in Bali for inner peace through meditation, to devotion. You can see everyday people doing the practice of yoga, not in yoga mat, in asana. So this is how Balinese or how it's before it's become transformed, it's really religious and spiritual practice. But now yoga become the industry of capitalist market that coming and bringing the idea of how yoga can become accessible, easy to access, and people can learn or teach yoga or practice yoga without connect of touching the religion part area of Hinduism. So they touch or they introduce this with the very easy physical aspect, which is asana or pose. And these influences from the West, the offering of knowing the spirituality by practicing or understanding, knowing your body is the easy way. The physical aspect is very easy to understand because we can feel it's tangible. But talking about spirituality, chakra, energy, this and that, it's quite challenging. So to make people going towards that stages, we want to explain and we want to people experience their own with the asana or yoga pose. And the process before the journey of the people who want to go to spiritual enlightenment, the process is just prayer, offering, purification, melukat. I believe many of you practicing this melukat many times, and not everybody feeling the sacred of melukat, but the melukat itself, the purification itself is very powerful. Offering with the simple traditional clothes, the simple offering in the open space, sacred place, in the temple. This is how the process of the enlightenment, the time in Bali with Hinduism part. And it's transformed, become a fitness-oriented practice. And with all the apparel brands, so people who doing yoga, they need to wear Alo or Lululemon, Lifeform yoga mat to make sure that they are part of the society. Otherwise they will not go to yogis. This is what happened nowadays. However, this adding some music, essential oil is coming in this globalization also, how people attract the customer or the student to coming to the yoga studio. There is so many ways to combine, not only the meditation itself, not only the physical practice itself, but also with other things. And the practice of yoga before, like here in Denpasar, this is the community, Seger Ogar community. If you have heard this community, it's been 20 years, if I'm not wrong. So it's just the informal network. So people gather, community-based. There is no standard of how much you want to pay. Maybe sometimes pay by donation, mostly it's free. So there is no standard of management to share the practice of yoga. But then, because of the commercialization, globalization, westernization, this yoga practice managed by the professional approach from the Western management. How to handle the inquiry for the practice of yoga, and then incorporating professional marketing, and then also professional promotion in Instagram. So there is so many management structural transformation. And the symbol, transformation of symbol. Spiritual symbols such as chakra used to be intangible. We cannot see, we cannot touch. It's very sacred. Chakra is very sacred. But nowadays, it exists in the physical forms, in the yoga mat, in the crystal, in your clothes, in your apparel, and everything. So this is how transformation of the symbol from the form. And then the ideologies behind the transformation itself. There is the ideology of wellness culture, capitalism and commodification, globalization and westernization, and also spirituality for self-revitalization. For the capitalism and wellness culture, for the wellness culture. So before the traditional practice, the goals or the achievement is to just peaceful of the mind, enlightenment. But nowadays, practice yoga is to become lifestyle, part of the lifestyle. You are a part of this society lifestyle when you do yoga. Yoga become luxurious exercise practice. And modern wellness destinations is in Bali. We have so many different studios with different approach. They offering so many extra, not only the yoga practice itself. There is also a vegan restaurant, for example, and then also spa after practice, and so on. And according to Foucault itself, the ideal body image, it's become the power in the society. So people seeking the spirituality or enlightenment by the physical body image, that is become a strong power to make people coming to do yoga. And capitalism and commodification. So before, the spiritual and traditional essence of yoga is meditative elements. And authenticity of yoga traditional values is the path of spiritual enlightenment. There is so many paths. We know the Ashtanga, Ashtau, there is Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. So now the yoga industry
Thank you so much for the presentation, Doctor. It was really incredible and really a fascinating exploration of all things yoga here in Bali. You know, I wanted to ask a clarifying question for you about the difference between the doing and the understanding, because you bring up the idea of the Melakat ceremony, and my understanding of what you presented was that the problem is that people do it without understanding what they're doing, and that process is not really enough of purification. But then alternatively, when I learned more about, Balinese culture itself, Balinese religion, there's a lot of asana. There's a lot of practice that's done without knowing what is the reason. In the Tari Bali, the mudras, we don't always trace what the meaning is, but we still do them and it's still handed down, and therefore it's still sort of like a ceremonial like regeneration. You're able to get something from that. So my question is, when we look at the Malakat, when we look at understanding, Balinese Hindu tradition, and then we look at the asana of yoga, like how much do we actually need to know to be able to just do? And can we just do and get whatever it is that we're looking for? Thank you.
So thank you for the question. It's interesting. Again, to not only the specific of Malukat or understanding of the asana, mudra, and so on, what is beyond or behind this and that, to giving the explanation of yoga or people who want to seeking the spirituality more. Here, coming to Bali, I want to have some peaceful mind, releasing my stress, this and that. To go to that aspect is not that instant. It's not that easy, And physical approach is the easiest way. Physical approach is the easiest way because when you feel like anxiety, energy, a lack of energy, stressful, it's in the level of energy. It's intangible. You cannot see. I have a broken heart. Where is the broken? The heart, where? Where is love? I can't feel the love, but where is it? But instead of when you are doing asana, then you injured yourself. Okay, my ligament is broken. It's there. The bone's broken. You can feel it because it's tangible. You can feel it, you can touch it. The muscle movement, the muscle stretching, the muscle strengthening, it's tangible and you can touch it, you can feel it. Same like this. So when is the time or the correct time I need to understand or I need to know about this? It is your own journey. By knowing your body physically, this is the layer of our self. We have the layer of the physical body, energetical body, mind body, and so on, right? So the easiest way to know yourself is by understanding your physique. How far you can go for this stretching, how far I can understand how I can strengthening my muscle, and then after that, I understand. Back bending is not about the anatomical of my back, the anatomical of my legs, but it's about something I hold or I holding in my heart, in my trauma. There is something that in the backside, back life, past life, energetical way, I need to heal. So this is the example, the easiest example of asana and energy. And then when you will understand this, and then by the time, takes time, there is no instant shortcut way, I'm sorry. So takes time for you to go deep to that stages. That's why the path of yoga is coming from the yama asana, pranayama, pratyahara. So asana is become the first, the third stage, and then pranayama. So you don't, mostly not people, not everyone enjoying pranayama session. They come in this commodification and transformation in the physical aspect. Pranayama is more subtle. This is not really include or involve physical body. So kind of boring practice, pranayama. That's why you need to do the physical practice that much to make sure that you breathe or not during your practice. So after the pranayama, then you understand how to bring your attention inwardly, pratyahara. Just to make sure that you are bringing the attention, not focus yet, not meditate yet. At least, okay, I doing some poses, I'm breathing, and then I take my focus either to maybe to my hands or to my nose, to my specific body, drishti or gazing to make it easier, right? That is the pratyahara. And then go to the dharana, the meditation aspect. Just come only to focus first, not meditate as well. Okay, not yet. So there is a stages or step to go to that understanding. When do I need to understand this mudra or this understanding of Melukat? By the time when you interest in these topics, then you will have this curiosity by yourself. Then you understand. So it's not like the teacher teach you or the guides when you go to Melukat, giving you explanation and that's all. Maybe you just heard, but you don't really feel it. But when you come back again and you feel, okay, I think I understand this first stages of the water purification, giving a meaning. And then when you connect with yourself, when you connect with your energy, the specific part of what you want to heal, the specific things that the trauma of healing that you want to release, okay, then you connect with that. Then you call that memory, the memory to heal. So the process of healing is not like that kind of, you come and you heal, but you need to go back to that, whatever it is, pain or trauma, and then you need to understand exactly what it is. Then when you go to that area of the memory that you want to avoiding, that you want to run from, you need to come back, then you can heal. Same like, for example, you go with your scooter and then you falling, and then you crash your legs with on the road, and then it's bleeding, right? It's bleeding. Then you go to the emergency room, and the doctor going to giving you some disinfectant or alcohol to make the pain even more painful. So you talk to the doctor, I come here to make you heal my pain, my bleeding, not to make me more painful. But what he doing is to giving some alcohol. Same like that. So to heal the trauma, that pain from the past life, from whatever it is in your memory back then, you need to acknowledge that feeling. You need to understand that situation first, not avoiding or running from it. You need to accept, okay, that's happened. It's happened. However, it's happened. And then, okay, I acknowledge, I accept this. And then you need to understand that, okay, this is me. And I need to understand that this is part of my journey. This is my learning journey. So this is also how we understand the energy of healing, and also when we need to understand the deep layer of the traditional meaning of whatever it is in the yoga package, in the yoga teacher training program or retreat, or the healing session in the sound healing or chakra healing, whatever it is you may call it. So at least you need to do it not instant one time, then that's, you understand, this is the whole journey of practice, the whole experience of yourself, and then the whole time, the practice of your whole time, as long as you're still breathing and life in this lifetime. Yeah. For me, as we are in Hinduism, we have another, reincarnation. So we a little bit chill, we have another lifetime. But you guys, I don't know, maybe you only have, enjoy your time now. Okay, thank you.
My question is, what is the prospect in next 5 years? I think people or Westerners come to Bali, especially Ubud, they are romanticizing from the eat, pray, and love. So they come to Bali, especially Ubud, and also maybe 100 years before, because of the painting from Water's Peace, the beauty of rice field, and all the beauty from the Ubud. But nowadays we can see so many change a lot. Traffic and some the pictures from the Water's Peace already changed. So many, no more, and the beauty from the Ubud is less and less and less. That is the question is, what is the next?
Thank you, Payudi. So Payudi is my teacher, senior teacher. His practice before I born into this, I think. So yeah, it's already start. what happened now, too crowded, too much traffic, or the energy is no longer heals. People or practitioners start kind of complaining how the Balinese infrastructure or building here and there. So this work is not for the yoga teacher itself, not only for the the Balinese people themselves, but it is our all. You as well coming here. Some people become a Balinese, like Scott. Scott is from the US and he now has become Wayan Scott, right? Or Komang Scott. So we need this kind of support, not only from the Balinese people, because the things about our country, we still in these developed countries, we still using our resources to build up our country for the economic point of view. We need to explore some resources, and this happens to those big country as well years ago. So we still in this developed period area. That's why the bureaucracy in our country is not easy to support. Immigration, we have some issues with this, talking about the structure of the law for the local teacher versus the Westerner. It's not like against each other, but it's just we need the umbrella of the law that makes sure that this is the correct way to sharing the values of yoga, because we understand that people coming here to sharing the experience, the Westerner teaching yoga, but not in the correct way. And this also part of later on, the local teacher becomes less more productive, because we know that the limitation of our way to approaching this yoga is not that much good, as well as the Western coming, or the approach of the globalization, capitalism, capitalist practitioner or capitalist market. So we need the support that if you own, I have so many here, my friends from the Western approach, giving some opportunity for the local teacher, which is, we are appreciate that. So we need to support this local teacher. And when we support the local teacher giving the authenticity of Balinese culture. And with this way, at least you understand that too many exploration about things in this spirituality is not good. And then we feel it as well, the energy of the healing medicine, Ubud is medicine, is no longer that strong because of this commercialization, because of this industry of yoga. Yoga become industry, become very much product, right? So we need the support from everyone, and as well, the next 5 or 10 years, I guess it will be more going to the area, another area still in Bali, which is the still kind of like virgin area. There's not too much, commercialization. But however, wherever it is, it will become again same way, right? Because of the needs of the demands of the people who coming. We need to supply the place. When you create some yoga ashram, for example, or shala, or whatever it is in the middle of nowhere, But at the end, you need the people who feeding you, so the restaurant is coming. You need the people who doing the relaxation, so the spice, everybody will come and then establish something, build something there in the area. This is what happened, and this is the reality, not only here in Bali but everywhere. So what we can do is we are really relying with the local people, which is how they develop this area, this region, with the way they do in every single day, the devotion, the offering, this kind of this kind of thing that you see every single day, that you feel that this is the humbleness of the culture from Bali, from the Balinese, and the compassion that is you can feel it itself. There is no Bali in America, there is no Bali in India, there is no Bali in Europe. The society, the packaging of this island is not only the beautiful of the oceans or the places, but also the people. And this is the things that we can proudly to share, that we need to maintain the culture of the Balinese people by helping them and supporting them. And people who are here for a long time as the Westerner, I see they start to become or adapting themselves with this humbleness of the Balinese people. They become part of us. So the family, community-oriented is here in Bali. I think you cannot have it not mostly in everywhere, but in Bali, you always welcome. You will always, you don't have food, come to my home. You don't have place to stay, come to my home. But make sure that, giving back, something that you need to giving back. And this is what people of Bali doing. We always have this, how we offer the bhakti that we need to offer not only people, not only God, not only human, but also the other entities. The other entities, we also pray for them. We also appreciate and respect the existence of these entities, right? You can feel the secret of this area, this region, Bali, because of the people still respecting and honoring and bowing to the entities, not only for the seeking of spirituality for themselves, but just for the respect. Okay, so it's our all job to maintain this yoga industry in Bali, to still having this authenticity. And thank you for the support for all the people who coming from all around the world for the Balinese people and the island. That's all. Thank you.
Good evening, Ibu Ningrum. It's such an honor for me to stay right in front of you, to sitting down here. And also it's such an honor for all of us here to listen all of the knowledge that comes from you, from your research. So actually my question is like a little bit similar with the previous questions. It's about you talk a little bit about the tendency that this wellness tourism will expand to another part of Bali, like in the east or in the north. But now I will go a little bit specific, particularly to the local yoga teacher. As I'm born and raised in the east of Bali, Karangasem, and I love my residency pretty much. So yeah, I see by myself, I witness how the local yoga teacher in east of Bali, in Karangasem Regency, not really could, what we said, the wellness itself is the process to pursue the well-being life, which is in well-being life, we know there is one part we call it a financial freedom, or they have sufficient money to keep living their best life while they devote themselves into the yoga, into the sharing of the yoga knowledge through the bhakti yoga to the karma yoga. But like what you said, the obstacles, the main obstacles is their wisdom because they are unable to speak in English. But actually, that's also for me is the purest form of the local Balinese. They're very innocent. Until now, even the Sidaman itself, we see a lot of retreat there. None of the yoga teachers showing with the sport bra and six-pack belly. They still with a very humble attire, uniform, with the sarong, with the like loose pants for the man. And yes, and they just share everything with their very insufficient English, with their very like pure smile to serve everyone. And the energy itself still delivered, very delivered much, because when we go deep into the meditation and yoga itself, the energy talks louder than the words. My question is, I want to ask your opinion for like the next 5 or 10 years with this kind of traffic in Canggu, Seminyak, in Ubud. Like people really want to get the real healing, come to, let's say, to my place in Sidaman area in Karangasem. Do you think that we need to keep that purest form as it is? Or we following the tendency of that, like what you explained everything about? Yeah, I'm totally agree that we can, with that kind of retreat, with that kind of tourism come for that wellness retreat, simultaneously raising up the economic for the people around. But what do you think, your opinion about the yoga teacher? Like not only the teacher from overseas brought their guru come to the Sidaman area, but also the Sidaman has their local teacher who really like strong, who really like could be the, what does it call, like the representative of the Balinese, the Bali yoga, not the Indian yoga, not the Western yoga, but the pure Bali with the Maluka, with all the offerings, with all the mantra chants and everything. Thank you.
Okay, I think it's her, yeah, Amati. She is from Sidaman. Subaktabola is the one of the example of these things that you share. So Amaati is the local yoga teacher that is very much authentic with all the form of yoga package with the Balinese tradition. With there is a Balinese dancing there as the part, and also the Melukat with the sacred rituals way, not going to the fancy or tourism temple for Melukat, but she take the practitioner to doing the ritual of Melukat itself for the sake of purification, not for the sake of these famous temples or to experience the purification. But the local, how we as the Balinese, we do this Melukat as the way of our prayer or our purification, our healing, to cleanse ourselves as it is, not as the part of industry. And then also the way she approaching the program itself with very much humble, with all the, even the food, the meal, vegan meal. She have the area for all the food, like all the vegetable. She grow the vegetable there. She teach also the student how to cook in the Balinese way of traditional cooking, and also the approach of the food combination of the food with the healing, the Ayurvedic, and then with the Balinese way. So, however, she also open for this program from abroad who are bringing their own community, bringing their own self, bringing their own way to lead their own training in her place in Subakta Bola, Sideman, the way they are, but still they still need her to leading some part of this melukat and also the way that they cooking their meal. So I think this combination, this hybrid, the cultural adaptation from the traditional authenticity of Balinese way and then the modern globalization approach combined together is a good way to not only introducing how Balinese way of yoga to other world, also to accept whatever it is from outside, which is very good. Because if you doing like in the Balinese way or traditional approach that we have, it's only informal network. We are not really good barrier of language. We are not really good in media platform, everything. All of this is about the management process of Western, the management process package of the globalization, which is very much helpful for us to introduce our way, to introduce our authenticity. So people know that. So people acknowledge that. So this is the Bali, and this is how Bali sharing the healing, sharing the teaching, and sharing the energy of the practice of yoga. So I guess the combination, adaptation, cultural combination is very good for both ways. Either the people who come or the people who are in Bali. So we are very, very much open. You can feel as well how the people of Bali always welcome with some, information or education, how you want to teach us, we always welcome. We never, I guess, most of the yoga teacher or the people who are in this industry always accept whatever it is, and then we can combine however that you want to marketing your product or your way of program or your package of yoga. So as long as it's in this, in the standard of normal things, I mean, like not, there is so many, this is another case. Nowadays, there is so many over or not really in the way of yoga to do something more like for the sake of commercialization. So healing or opening, awakening, but it's not that how it used to be, or it's just too much or over beyond the practice of itself. So because of the promotion, the promotional, because of the TikTok view, and then people believe that this is the best of awakening, shaking the body, this and that, but the exact practice is not that. So we try to keeping the yoga practice as simple as that, as it is, the way as it is to reach the goals of achievement, which is enlightenment and knitting yourself inside. So yeah, thank you.